To what, if any, extent is it true that a person can only, so to say, realize him or herself in steps, as has been suggested in the past? For example, first of all, I need to have my, say, biological met. Then I need to have my social needs met. Then I can continue climbing. To what extent is that so? Does it follow from that some or another substantial portion of the world at any given time cannot truly be human, cannot truly be good, because some of those lower rungs or tiers of needs are oftentimes not met, such as in areas of poverty, such as in areas of social unrest, instability, and such. So here, a bunch of subtleties would probably be um, worthwhile to distinguish or to clarify. So, for example, what do we mean by quote unquote self realization? What do we mean by um, needs? It could be said, as a matter of seemingly undisputable common sense fact, that indeed, if I am in some sort of existential exigency as it concerns my anatomy, meaning I can't breathe, I'm absolutely starving, and such, that could be the first thing on my mind, especially with something such as oxygen. People do indeed sometimes fast for long periods of time and still can focus on something else, but something, excuse me, such as oxygen is ASAP, right? That's an urgent need. So if large uh, quantities of individuals are left at that level where food and water are the primary concerns, likely concomitant of that is that educational opportunities, economic opportunities, social opportunities will not exactly be in tandem with that lack of basic necessities booming. And consequently, the degree to which an individuality can really develop in the absence of nourishment for individuality, meaning education, ideas, relationships, that kind of stuff, that level will probably be capped. And indeed, we see that it certainly is capped in sterile societies that are continually devoid of any kind of higher culture. For example, it can be certain that some or another all around great individuality, such as, just to pick kind of based on reputation, maybe a Goethe, somebody like that, a Plato, cannot and will not emerge from, say, an uncontacted tribe, such that doesn't even have a written language, and is at that level. Right? They're great for what they're worth, but they will never produce some such individuality, just as they will never produce an Olympic athlete without that person having made contact with society at large and their training methods and so on. Right? We don't just pop up in a vacuum, especially eminence and excellence. It doesn't just come out of a vacuum. So, indeed, plenty of content is needed. Would a person form into something substantial, be it from an intellectual point of view? Here's a great physicist, here's a great philosopher, here's a great mathematician, a great musician, a great artist, a physical point of view, a great athlete. And that all is interdependent on other people, on passed down knowledge, and all sorts of things like that. With that said, that's one thing. And the quality of a person from an ethical angle might well be, and certainly does seem to be, another thing. And that would be more where there is a sort of um, everybody has the chance to participate. We can say, if I have been deprived of any kind of higher culture, I won't become a great musician, a great artist, a great thinker, a great even athlete if I don't have that athletic culture and those means. But what I can be is I can be a decent person. I could have responded to the lights available to me. Maybe there were very little lights concerned with, for example, not claiming that I killed the prey or the animal, the hunt that my friend did, that my fellow tribesperson did. Something like that. I know I didn't kill it, right? But nobody saw, and then I could go back to the village or to my other buddies and say I killed it. I know that's not true. Right? I have the option. That's on me to not lie, to be honest. So the lights available to me might be slim, but they're my own, and they are enough to lead me in the direction of being a better person or a worse person. And we see that seems to be the backbone of any higher development anyway. It is quite unpleasant, at least sight, to see a person that is uh, outwardly accomplished as it concerns accolades. Like, I'm a great this, I'm a great that. But inside, morally is rotten, selfish, self centered, vain, narcissistic, all that kind of stuff. Nobody really wants that. People do from an economic angle. You can make money off this person. This person is impressive, whatever. But as it concerns appreciation of values and of what really counts in life, that doesn't count for much. On the converse, somebody that is so-called simple-minded, that hasn't really had opportunities to really develop themselves, and yet it has responded to the lights available to them, has answered favorably to the calls of their conscience, and consequently is a decent person, we would pick that person. We want that person. And if then that person is exposed or their children are exposed to the boons of higher culture, to higher tiers of civilization, then they can develop uh, toward the ideal of a well-rounded individuality, which has that ethical core of goodness, right? Of the self-sacrificial spirit and such. So, in short and in summary, there is some truth to a so-called hierarchy of needs. I can't breathe. Yeah, that's what I need to focus on. Well, that said, um, and further, it can be added that if there's not ample society, ample civilization, such that gives individuals ample opportunities to develop themselves from a, say, intellectual point of view or otherwise, those higher instances of individuality will be absent, just as a matter of fact. With that said, our ethical development is another matter. There are plenty of wonderful people, kind-hearted people that have not proceeded step by step up the hierarchy of needs before they became good people. First of all, I need perfect, food supplies, perfect water supplies, perfect safety, perfect security, perfect this. Then I'm going to be good. No, I can be good from the start, or close to the start, meaning from birth. When I begin to see a contradiction between the claims of self-centeredness and selfishness and what I take to be true and right. So if from the beginning I respond correctly to the lights available to me, then hopefully I will be as good a person as I can be, given the ethical opportunities that I have had. And any further opportunities for the development of individuality, such as can come about when those rungs of so-called needs are met, then hopefully I will be able to avail myself of. You can consider it. Thank you for listening.